Hi, you are welcome to Arise United Devils. I'm Kingsley Aigbokaude. As usual, there are different stories written about Manchester United today. New days, fresh news. So, we are just going to get straight into the news. Erik Ten Hag blames setback no team can deal with for Man United struggles. Erik Ten Hag reckons he would have won 3/4 of his games at Manchester United had injuries not decimated his squad this season. United's 3-1 derby defeat to local rivals Manchester City on Sunday was Ten Hag's 100th game in charge, with the Dutchman winning 61 times. But Ten Hag reckons that number could be as high as 75 had injuries not left him without key players for large chunks of the season, with 11 players missing for Saturday's visit of Everton to Old Trafford. United have lost players to injury or illness on 48 separate occasions this season, with Ten Hag bemoaning the fact his second season had been undermined by matters out of his control. Imagine if we had many more players available and no setbacks and injuries, said Ten Hag. We could easily have 75 wins, and that tests the bright future of this team. When you compare it with other managers, other teams, or previous managers in this big club, you can see there is a bright future. It's a good balance of ages in the squad. Young players, middle-aged players. Imagine when they are available, they could easily have won 75 from 100 games. The project is going in the right direction. When we have the players available, top football is about winning games. No team can deal with so many injuries. I think we have played to maximum levels if you take in respect the availability of the players. We miss so many key players over the season. The performances we have seen when the players are available in January and February are very good. We keep working on better performances. We want to play on our maximum level, and when the players are available, good players in key positions, you miss players who have a very high impact on the way we want to play. We want to be successful. We need to be successful. Sometimes seasons are going like we are now, but we don't accept that. We will fight. We have problems, and I have had problems with the squad injury-wise, but with the players available, we will fight. It doesn't matter who is the opposition. We'll go for the win. Three Manchester United players set to return versus Liverpool as club give fresh missing match update. That is the headline of the second story. Marcus Rashford and Johnny Evans are both available for Manchester United's Premier League fixture against Everton this weekend. Rashford and Evans were first off in the second half of the Manchester derby defeat to City last week, but Rashford featured in training on Wednesday. Evans was not visible, but United manager Erik Ten Hag confirmed the centre half is fit to retain his place for the visit of Sean Dyche's side. Teenage winger Omar Fosun is out through injury. Ten Hag is also hopeful Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire and Rasmus Højlund will return for the FA Cup quarter-final tie against Liverpool next Sunday. Wan-Bissaka has missed the past 8 games with a leg problem. Maguire was sidelined for the FA Cup win at Nottingham Forest, and the City loss, while Højlund has sat out the past 3 matches with a muscular problem. Mason Mount has not played since November 11 with a calf problem, and the £60 million summer signing has missed 5 months of the season combined with muscular issues. Ten Hag indicated Mount will return after the March internationals. There were issues. Erik Ten Hag on the Manchester United dressing room after Solskjaer. Erik Ten Hag insists managers are duty-bound to adjust to players amid Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's criticism of portions of the Manchester United dressing room. Solskjaer alluded to petty members of Generation Z, those born between the 1990s and early 2010s, who requested not to captain United in certain games. The Norwegian said last year there were snowflakes in the United dressing room, and he also referred to the challenge of managing millennials during his time in charge. Ten Hag encountered major issues with Cristiano Ronaldo, who forced his way out of United after saying he had no respect for the Dutchman. Ten Hag also banished Jadon Sancho from the first team squad after he publicly accused the manager of lying. There were obviously issues, but I think always as a manager you have to adjust to the time and adjust to the generation. Ten Hag said when asked about Solskjaer's comments, don't expect that they will adjust to you. You as a manager, as a coaching staff, have to adjust to a new generation. You have to find out how they live, how they think, how they feel, and then you have to find a way to coach them. And so we have to deal with it, to find the right strategy, to get the right approach, and to motivate them. It's not the same. It's different to ours. But I love to be here. I love to be working with the players in this dressing room. I love the characters and the personalities. Solskjaer suggested some players did not have the courage to communicate with him in person and had other people come up to me and say it. Ten Hag empathized with his predecessor. I think nowadays it's much more difficult to be a team. Players are much more on their own as individuals, and around them they all have their own businesses unit, their own companies. To construct it as a team with that is the biggest change in the last 15 to 20 years. Rasmus Højlund gives Manchester United injury update as double boost revealed. Manchester United striker Rasmus Højlund has provided an update on his return from injury. Højlund has been sidelined with a muscle injury for the last couple of weeks and has missed United's last 3 games. The striker was not involved in the Premier League defeats to Fulham and Manchester City, as well as the FA Cup 5th round win over Nottingham Forest. United are busy preparing to face Everton in the top flight fixture at Old Trafford in the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. It remains to be seen if Højlund will be fit enough to return for the game, with the club confirming on February 23 that he will be sidelined for around 2 to 3 weeks with the injury. Now Højlund has teased a potential return to the pitch as he provides an update on his recovery from the injury. That would be nice, Højlund told MUTV when asked about the progress he's making from the injury. Let's see, but I'm going to be back as soon as possible. I don't want to put a date on it because it will just interfere or something, but I think we are not far off. Despite not being available at the time, Højlund was part of the travelling United squad that went to the Etihad Stadium for the fixture against Man City last Saturday. Højlund was alongside his teammates on the bench as the Reds lost 3-1 in the Manchester derby. Højlund has explained why he decided to make the trip to the Etihad Stadium despite not being available for selection. Lisandro Martinez was also alongside Højlund for the game as the centre-back continues his recovery from a knee injury. Normally, we don't go to away games, but I was off on the day, so I thought we should go to support the boys and just be around the team. Also for the sake of us to get the feeling and smelling it, said Højlund. Because when you are injured, it can be a bit that you are not playing. So to get in the changing room and get that feeling, and again, it means there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Primarily, it was to support the boys, but for the sake of our rehab as well, it gives us a boost. While Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants a new Old Trafford for Manchester United, standing in the Old Trafford press conference room in January, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was asked for his first impressions of the stadium. He declined to comment, but the body language was telling. Ratcliffe was more candid at the Ineos office 2 weeks ago. Old Trafford is run down and neglected in places. He opined, knocking it down and rebuilding it is a no-brainer. United were established as Newton Heath, but they will be remaining in Old Trafford. The Manchester Evening News revealed last month the club could play games without having to move to another stadium, as the site footprint is large enough to accommodate building a new Old Trafford while safely hosting matches at their home since 1910. Ratcliffe believes a large amount of land United own around Old Trafford is underused and could be repurposed for housing, leisure, business and education to drive investment and jobs in the area. The Ineos chairman added the museum is crap and the megastore is too small. United moved their club shop into the stadium in 2000 and it was the biggest in Europe at the time. Ratcliffe knows United have stood still on the Glazers family's watch. Members of the task force Ratcliffe has assembled, chaired by Lord Sebastian Coe, feel there's an opportunity to link Old Trafford and Wharf side with Media City on the other side of Suffolk Quays to create a major economic and social hub. Stadium master planners, Populous, submitted options for developing Old Trafford or building a new one on club-owned land in 2022. 30,000 fans were surveyed on the future of the stadium before the Glazer family announced a strategic review in November, putting any stadium redevelopment plans on hold. Club sources confirmed Ratcliffe has analyzed both options and concluded a new build would be the best way to transform the fan experience and surrounding community. United are conscious of preserving matchgoers' matchday routines and rituals journey to M16. United maintain they have the capacity to arrange their own funding for a phased redevelopment of Old Trafford, but Ratcliffe is seeking financial support from funding partners. A club source stressed they are not looking for handouts but mentioned opportunities for public-private partnership to drive a wider regeneration that extends to transport infrastructure. Ratcliffe met members of United fan groups shortly after his 27.7% stakeholding was confirmed on Christmas Eve, and he has held several rounds of meetings about Old Trafford. United will continue to consult fan and community leaders as well as local residents. Dr. Drasdo, a member of the Fans Advisory Board and Chief Executive of the Manchester United Supporters Trust, and Tom Ross, the leader of Trafford Council, are both members of the task force. United insists the Glazers are also fully supportive. Manchester United announced members of major task force for Old Trafford regeneration. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has enlisted Lord Sebastian Coe and Gary Neville to join a task force to explore options for regenerating Old Trafford. Coe, who headed the successful bid for the London 2012 Olympics, will chair the task force as United explore the possibility of building a new Old Trafford of national significance. Stratford was transformed to accommodate the 2012 games at the London Stadium, home to West Ham United since 2016, and Ratcliffe wants United to have a modernized home that could host international matches and finals. Ratcliffe expressed his preference to knock down Old Trafford, which he described as run down and neglected in places last month, and rebuild it on the existing site. Manchester Mayor Andy Bonham and Sarah Todd, the Chief Executive of Trafford Council, will also be members of the task force. Ratcliffe said this can be a major regeneration project for an area of Greater Manchester which has played such a key role in British industrial history, but which today requires new investment to thrive again. The northwest of England has a greater concentration of major football clubs than anywhere else in the world, yet we don't have a stadium on the scale of Wembley, the Camp Nou or Bernabeu. We will not be able to change that on our own, which is why the task force is so important to help us seize this once in a century opportunity. Cole, a Chelsea fan, said, "Throughout my career in sport, I have seen the potential for stadiums to become focal points for strong communities and catalysts for social and economic development. That was certainly true of the venues we built in East London for the 2012 Olympics, and we are overdue a project of similar scale and ambition in the north of London. I am honored to have this opportunity to share my experience in support of this tremendously exciting project." Neville, an 8-time Premier League title winner with Manchester United and former club captain, co-hosts Hotel Football, which is opposite the East Stand. Old Trafford has evolved throughout its history, and it's clear we are at a point where it has to change again to ensure that Manchester United has a world-class stadium befitting the world's greatest club. Neville stressed, Why I want the best for Manchester United, I also want the same for the surrounding community. Old Trafford should be a stadium that the whole of Greater Manchester can take pride in and be a catalyst for sustainable, cohesive growth in an area of the city that has been neglected for too long. Manchester United fans, impacted by Ticket's decision, announced protest and sent message to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Manchester United fans, angered by the decision to relocate their season tickets at Old Trafford, has announced a protest campaign in an attempt to stop the plans. Around 850 supporters in Block X122 of the Sir Bobby Charity Stand will be relocated for the 2024-2025 season, as United are, according to those impacted, prioritizing transient player needs and hospitality arrangements over long-standing fan arrangements. Former player Norman Whiteside is among those affected, and a number of fans have contacted the Manchester Evening News over the last month to express their concerns. Those fans have now mobilized by creating a campaign group called South Stand United, who have hinted at planning legal but undisclosed protests at Old Trafford. Since acquiring a minority stake at United, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has described the club as a community asset, and the group believe their seat at the location contradicts that message. A statement from South Stand United said, This development comes amid growing frustration over the club's handling of the reassignment of season ticket holders, an initiative that has not only unsettled a loyal fan base but also raised questions about the future direction under Sir Jim Ratcliffe's stewardship. The group's initiative, stemming from the club's decision to move fans, some of who have occupied their seats for decades, to accommodate players' families and hospitality guests, challenges the community ethos Ratcliffe emphasized upon his investment in the club. With harsh community, no commodity as their banner, South Stand United is not only contesting the current seat reshuffle, but also sounding an alarm over the precedent it sets for future fan experiences. Guys, we have come to the end of the news for today. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up and share this video. I'll see you again tomorrow morning.